The Fall of the Inca Empire, Part 2. 6 tons of gold couldn't save him. How much gold do you need to buy your freedom? Atahualpa, emperor of the Incas, thought he knew the answer. A room, 8 feet high, filled to the top. He delivered, and discovered the answer was different. No amount of gold buys freedom, when the one holding you prisoner never wanted to negotiate. The most powerful prisoner in the world. November 15, 32. A room in Cajamarca, in the heart of the Inca Empire, in what is now Peru. Atahualpa sits on the stone floor, hands free, no chains, but he doesn't leave. 3 weeks ago, he ruled the largest empire in the Americas. 10 million subjects, thousands of miles of roads, armies that had never lost a battle. And he had just won a brutal civil war, killed his own brother, burned entire cities, consolidated absolute power. He was the Sapa Inca, the only Inca, absolute ruler, son of the sun, untouchable. Until one November afternoon, he met 168 bearded men in a square. And in 30 minutes, everything collapsed. 80,000 of his warriors fled. Thousands died. Atahualpa was dragged into a room, prisoner. He observes the Spaniards. They don't torture him, don't publicly humiliate him. They just guard, as if he were valuable. And then Atahualpa notices something. They look at the gold on his arms, at the jewels he still wears, at the gold vessels they brought from the camp. They look and tremble. Atahualpa understands. They didn't come to kill, they came to take. And if they want gold, he can negotiate. The impossible offer. Atahualpa calls for Francisco Pizarro. The conquistador enters the room, alone, cautious. Between them, there's a man, Felipillo, the interpreter. Felipillo is Inca, captured years earlier by the Spaniards, trained to speak Spanish, and now he translates the conversation. But Felipillo hates Atahualpa. During the Civil War, Atahualpa massacred peoples from the region Felipillo came from. Entire families, burned villages. And now this man is translating the negotiation for the emperor's life. Atahualpa speaks slowly. Felipillo translates. You free me, I fill this room with gold. Pizarro looks around. The room is approximately 20 feet long, 16 feet wide, low ceiling. Atahualpa stands up, walks to the wall, raises his arm, marks a horizontal line with his outstretched hand, 8 feet high. He uses a piece of charcoal to scratch the wall. The mark stays there, physical, undeniable. Up to here, gold, in 2 months. Pizarro hesitates. He does the math mentally. 20 feet long, 16 feet wide, 8 feet high. 3,000 cubic feet. If filled with pure gold, it would be impossible. No one has that much gold. But his men are listening outside, and they want to believe. One of them shouts, "Accept it, Francisco. We'll decide later." Another, "Even if he brings half, it's worth it." Pizarro looks at Atahualpa. The emperor is calm, confident, as if making an ordinary business offer. Pizarro extends his hand. Deal made. 2 months. A room full of gold in exchange for an emperor's freedom. Atahualpa sends messengers immediately to Cusco, capital of the empire, to Quito, where he was born, to Pachacamac, sacred oracle on the coast. The order is clear. Bring all the gold. Vessels, statues, wall ornaments. Empty the temples, empty the palaces, empty the tombs. The messengers depart, and Atahualpa waits. He believes he's saving his life, but what he's really doing is condemning centuries of history. The gold that saved no one. The caravans begin to arrive. First week, llamas loaded with ceremonial vessels, small but heavy. Second week, statues wrapped in cloth, some over 3 feet tall. Third week, wall ornaments, giant discs, funerary masks. The Spaniards observe in silence, and then they begin to catalog. A scribe notes each piece, description, estimated weight, origin. Among the objects, the sun disk from the Temple of Coricancha, the largest temple in the empire dedicated to the sun god. The disk was almost 6 feet in diameter, pure gold, took decades to make. The funerary mask of Pachacuti, the emperor who built Machu Picchu, who expanded the empire, who created the road system. His mask had been in his tomb for almost 100 years. Ceremonial vessels used in coronation rituals, each with detailed inscriptions, stories of past emperors engraved in gold. The Incas who bring these objects weep. They carry sacred artifacts knowing they will be destroyed, but they obey, because Atahualpa ordered it. And then, the Spaniards begin to melt everything. The gold. Improvised furnaces in the square of Cajamarca, fire day and night. The sun disk, melted, became 30 standardized bars. Pachacuti's mask, melted, became 8 bars. The ceremonial vessels, melted, history erased, transformed into dead weight. The Spaniards don't care about historical value, they care about weight. And the weight is absurd. Week after week the room fills. 1 foot, 3 feet, 6 feet. Historians estimate 6 tons of gold, 12 tons of silver. Today, it would be worth more than $1 trillion. It took 3 months, not 2. Pizarro waited, patient. Let all the gold arrive before making any decision. And when the room finally filled, he called a meeting. Division of the loot. Pizarro kept the largest part. Cavalry received more than infantry. Common soldiers fought over scraps, almost a mutiny. Men who risked their lives thought they deserved more. But Pizarro controlled, threatened, negotiated, maintained order. And Atahualpa, still imprisoned. He fulfilled the agreement, but Pizarro doesn't free him. Delays. I need to confirm with the King of Spain. I need to ensure you won't gather armies. I need more time. Atahualpa realizes the agreement was never real. He tries another strategy, offers more gold, silver too. 2 rooms if necessary, whatever they want. Pizarro accepts everything and doesn't free him. Atahualpa finally understands. Gold doesn't buy freedom. Never did. They didn't want ransom. They wanted the empire. And he was the last obstacle. As long as Atahualpa is alive, the Incas have a legitimate leader, someone around whom to regroup. Dead, the empire is headless, and Pizarro can take whatever he wants. The trial that was never a trial. July 1533. Pizarro convenes a tribunal. Formal charges against Atahualpa. Treason against the Spanish crown. Idolatry. Murder of his brother Huáscar during the Civil War. Conspiracy against the Spaniards. Polygamy. Atahualpa hears everything through Filipillo, the same interpreter who hates him, the same one who may be translating wrong on purpose. Atahualpa defends himself. Treason? I never swore allegiance to Spain. Idolatry? I follow my people's gods. Huáscar? He tried to kill me first. It was war. Conspiracy? I'm imprisoned. How do I conspire? Polygamy? It's Inca tradition. Emperors always had multiple wives. No judge understands Quechua. Everything goes through Filipillo, and Filipillo translates however he wants. Each of Atahualpa's defenses may have become accusations, each argument distorted. No one will ever know. Hernando de Soto, Pizarro's second-in-command, respected man, war veteran, votes against the execution. He argues, Atahualpa fulfilled the agreement. Killing him now is dishonorable. Pizarro ignores. De Soto leaves Cajamarca before the sentence. He doesn't want to participate. Verdict?
death. Method, burning. Standard Spanish protocol for idolaters. Atahualpa panics, not from the pain, but from what comes after. The Incas believe if the body burns, there is no afterlife. The soul disappears forever. He begs, anything, not fire. And then Father Valverde, the same one who offered the Bible in the square of Cajamarca, the same one whose Bible Atahualpa threw on the ground, approaches. He makes an offer. Convert to Christianity, accept baptism, and I'll convince Pizarro to change the sentence. Atahualpa hesitates. He despised this god, publicly, in front of thousands, but now he has no choice. He accepts, he's baptized, receives a new name, Francisco Atahualpa. Francisco, Pizarro's name, the man who imprisoned him. Final irony. The god he threw on the ground became his last bet, and the sentence changes. Garrote, strangulation. The body remains intact, at least that.
The Execution and the Serpent. July 26th, 1533, square of Cajamarca. Atahualpa is led to the center, hands tied, no resistance. He doesn't scream, doesn't beg, just accepts. The garrote is adjusted around his neck. Pizarro watches from afar. Some say he cried. Political theater, probably. The cord is tightened. Atahualpa dies in silence. Pizarro orders a Christian funeral, body buried in the church of Cajamarca. But days later, the body disappears. The Spaniards say stolen by loyal Incas, taken to the mountains. And then the legend is born. Atahualpa didn't die. He transformed into a serpent. Not just any serpent, a maru, the sacred serpent, symbol of rebirth, connection between the world of the living and the dead. He escaped prison, went into the forest, and he will return. When? When the Pachacuti happens, a Quechua word meaning world turned upside down, the end of one era and the beginning of another. When everything collapses, he returns. Some versions say he became a condor. Others say he faked his death and fled. But all say the same thing. He didn't die, and he will return. This legend fueled rebellions for centuries. So much so that in 1780, almost 250 years later, Tupac Amaru II led the largest indigenous uprising against the Spaniards. He used the name, the prophecy, the hope. Atahualpa has returned. Thousands of people believed, and fought, and died. Because it was easier to believe in magic than accept the truth. The truth was more brutal. Atahualpa died, negotiated with invaders who never wanted to negotiate, destroyed sacred artifacts from centuries, from Coricancha, from temples throughout the empire dedicated to the sun god, to fill a room that would never save him, converted to the god of his enemies, and was killed anyway. He believed gold bought freedom, but Pizarro never wanted ransom. He wanted the empire, and got it. The Inca Empire, which stretched for thousands of miles, which had better roads than Europe, which had never been conquered, fell in less than 2 years. It all started with a civil war, continued with a capture in 30 minutes, and ended with an imprisoned emperor, waiting for ransom that would never come. If this story made you think about leaders who believed they had control until the very last second, you need to know another one. Anne Boleyn, Queen of England. The woman for whom a king broke with the Catholic Church, until, in a single trial, everything collapsed. Anne Boleyn, beheaded by the king who loved her. You can find the link on screen now and in the first pinned comment. If you want to keep watching stories about the exact moment everything collapses, subscribe to the channel and share it with people who think about these things too. Leave your comment down below. See you in the next video.